Hello, everyone. I'm very happy to have another young Indian with us, part of the Voice of the Young series. Right now, we have with us Antara Sengupta. Let's listen to her. She will tell us things that we may or may not understand. She's a high-level scientist, but let's hope she will explain it to us. So thank you, Antara. Let's over to you now.
Thank you very much, Dr. Mathur. Firstly, I'm really thankful for this invitation to this very wonderful and unique platform, Vidped. For the future viewers, hello everyone. I am Antara Sengupta. I'm a trained cancer molecular biologist, and earlier this year I defended my doctoral thesis. At this moment, I am kind of navigating through various aspects of my personal as well as professional fronts. But if I might have to say, the core domains of my life would involve my family, my personal scientific research and communication, and also my passion for social service. So, yeah, but right now I'm also like my personal professional goal is um, like pursue further research, be it in academia or industry. Yeah, to put it short, I'm in a transitional phase, and that's indeed quite a tough nut to crack. It's a lot of uncertainty, stuff like that. But yeah, and that's the reason why when Dr. Mathur, you approached me for this bit, I was a little concerned, and what would I possibly share with the audience, which would be useful as I'm exploring myself. But then I reflected on the brief that you mentioned that we could talk about anything we want and in my own way. So I'm gathering my thoughts, and I am like today I would like to share about my journey so far, which I would say is that of a like scientifically inclined introverted self-explorer. To begin with, my childhood, I belonged to a middle-class Bengali family with loving parents, brother, and sister-in-law. Recently, I've grown my family with a supportive partner, in-laws, and a newly born baby niece. So that's the family scenario. And if I like the childhood is basically, if I have to describe myself as a child, then the Bengali phrase "Lokhi me" would be the best thing to say, probably, which means a well-behaved, gentle kid. So probably I might not have those naughty, fun stories to share, but I enjoyed. I consider my childhood fulfilling as well. As a introverted kid, I have always like spent most of my time observing, listening, and thinking. Probably those were the like probably provided me the foundation as for my curiosity for science. Um, Having said that, I say that I'm probably a jack of all trades, master of one. I have a master's in biotechnology from St. Xavier's College, Kolkata, followed by a PhD in life sciences. I pursued my doctoral degrees at CSIR-Institute of Genomics and Integrative Biology in Delhi with the guidance of Dr. Shantanu Chaudhary. He's a Shanti Swarup Bhatnagar awardee.
Okay.
But having mentioned all this, I would like to mention that it wasn't all certain and very clear that this is what I want to do after school. I'm not sure how many would relate with me in this scenario, but I think some might. But yes, I had varied interests. So at some point of time, I thought maybe I would be an astronomer. Then at some point, I thought I would be a lawyer, maybe a professor, which I still feel I would probably pursue later on. But something that I vividly remember is that I daydreamt of being a scientist and being interviewed, like about my inventions and discoveries. So I think the general idea on my uh, nature is probably to ask questions and also being understanding new concepts and sharing them with everyone. Giving that scenario, the master's degree in biotechnology gave me a solid foundation to put life sciences. And after the master's, I cleared the national eligibility test, which qualifies me to pursue a scholarship based PhD in India. before I jumped into my doctoral studies, I tested the waters with as a project student under Dr. Chaudhary. In that time, I contributed to ongoing research questions in his lab. Works in varied fields of a wider canvas with the telomere biology and a lot of genomics. The institute is a genomics as well as integrative biology based institute. A lot of different type of research work going on. That initial period as a project student really gave me a lot of exposure to the real research, because at the master's level we have a lot of basics research and theoretical knowledge, but this is where we started having more of real scientific contributions. Thereafter, my doctoral studies began, and I dealt with an interesting, fascinating genomic structure called the telomeres. Telomeres are the protective. What we understand canonically about telomeres is that they are the protective structures at the ends of our chromosomes. They protect the genomic material, and one of the biomolecular complex that regulates how this structure will be and how long this will be is a protein complex called telomerase. It is controlled. The main component is governed by a gene called telomerase. My doctoral studies actually dealt with establishing a connection, a feedback communication between these components. The overall understanding in the field was that the telomerase gene is the main factor which regulates the telomere. So if I use the analogy of a factory, and if you consider the telomeric ends as a factory, and the telomerase, the gene, as the managerial body or who makes the decisions. Okay. In that scenario, it would be like a manager giving instructions, providing this and this much of raw materials to a set number of workers to work on the telomeres. The unidirectional signaling, which the manager says everything and things are getting done. But in a real life scenario, probably in a factory, there will be many other factors which can actually govern that in the day-to-day basis, how much of telomeres would be needed to be synthesized, or the products need to be synthesized. And there a key factor would be the communication from the factory to the managerial end. So this is just an analogy where if I just connect with my story, the telomeres being the factory and the telomerase being the manager, and the workers being an important protein. Was the key connecting factor in my story, a telomere repeat binding factor, TRF2, protein's name. And that was the missing link which actually signaled between these two compartments. All right. This is a new insight which is added onto the picture of a unidirectional story, a predominantly unidirectional story. And the relevance of this mechanism lies in the fact that this telomerase, this manager that I'm talking about, actually goes rogue in various disease contexts, like in cancer. So telomerase is found to be like overexpressed, like expressing at a very high rate in about 90% of cancers. Yeah. Very important to understand how we can regulate their function, because critically linked to the overall stability and integrity of the cell, and therefore the entire organism. Therefore, these slides that definitely has required a lot of years over which all the data and everything had to be generated. This is something that me and my colleagues have found for the years, and with due to this meeting, I'm not going into the details, but anyone is welcome to Google our research work and read more, and we can talk more on this. Happy to.
Okay, let me just see if I can add something here. Maybe I'm wrong. Okay. First of all, it's academic research. I'm glad you are doing academic research because in India, we don't do enough. Okay, so first of all, that's a great thing that India is doing academic research in a leading field. It's a leading field in biology. And I just want to ask, do you think that ultimately this kind of research will have any impact on medicine and treatment?
Thank you for that question. Yes, I mean, this definitely is a foundational level. We have to build a lot on it. But the regulatory mechanism, the tools that we use to test out that whether this kind of signaling from the other end, from the telomeres exists. What we did was, one of the technique was to shorten the telomeres, top of the telomere, using a technology called CRISPR, which is now a very
CRISPR,
well-known term.
yes,
Yeah.
I was going to ask you about CRISPR, but go ahead.
Yeah. So I'm just like giving an example, like how we could make use of it. So what we saw in those experiments is that if we shorten telomeres, and we used a model system of stem cells, and we shorten the telomeres, we can actually, well, obviously, like this needs more experimentation, but we can influence the proliferation capacity of those cells, because how long the telomeres are, this is an important feature for maintaining stemness properties and those proliferative capacity of those. So if we can develop tools by which we can regulate telomeric length in cells, and I mentioned only a very general point of why we should study telomerase, because it's overexpressed, but there is more granularity to that if we just mention about cancer, because we find that the telomere length in cancer cells, as I mentioned, the telomeres is overexpressed. So we would understand, or we would think that this manager would signal so much to the telomeres, and therefore we should have long telomeres in the cells. But what we find is that in cancer cells, the telomeres are actually shorter than the corresponding normal cells in our body. So there is some kind of a survival, some other factors which is guiding that what should be the threshold of telomeric length maintained in the system. So there is more intricacy in the picture, but definitely this is a like interesting and important regulatory signal that could be modulated to understand and probably develop more, diagnosis or medicinal tools to target cancer. There
Okay.
are a lot of
Go ahead.
Yeah, there are a lot of medicines already which actually focus on controlling the activity of telomerase in the cells. It's already used, but we are developing more and more specific telomeric structure specific drugs which can target cancer cells better. So yes, it is definitely essentially a fundamental research, and we always look forward and we theorize futuristic aspects to be like application based. But yes, it will need further exploration in that angle for sure.
Okay, this is academic research. So,
Yeah.
there's no point in asking how will you apply it. It's academic research. Okay, fine. We need academic research. So don't ask somebody who's doing scientific academic research, can this be useful in 2 years? It's a wrong question. But anyway, let's continue.
Yeah. So yeah, as I was saying that like all these observations and everything, this requires a lot of experimentation, data generation, validation, analysis, validation, and all through this process there is a lot of setbacks and failures. And this is part and parcel of the PhD journey. I feel like we end up knowing that we know nothing or very less of the field. So that could be frustrating, but at the same time, we learn to accept that and still move on. So that is something that has been a very big factor for me during my PhD days, when it was a lot of like a self-doubt and a lot of self-criticism, because you go through all this kind of phases. But yes, everyone has their own ways to face them and cope with them, and that's where my aspect of social service came into my life, and I always wanted to serve the society in a more direct and immediate manner, and that's where I connected with a trio of very dynamic social entrepreneurs. Nupur Bhardwaj, Ankush Panwar, and Rohit Kumar. So they run an NGO called Let's Educate in Need. And they're doing fabulous work, like providing quality education and healthcare to the underprivileged Delhi and UP area. So I'm very fortunate that I have been associated with them for 5 to 6 years now and have tried my best to contribute as a facilitator or through running like campaigns for them or fundraising events for them. So that process has been something which I felt whenever I struggled with my research work, helped me to feel like I can still contribute immediately to the society in a way I really want to. So my journey so far has been revolving around this research, my PhD, and balancing with a lot of other activities of which the social, my association with the LECIN has been a very significant one. And I wish and intend to continue doing it, like striking a balance in both my professional goals as a researcher, while also contributing in other ways. But yes, like research and academia especially can be challenging. It can make your days very dull sometimes. But I choose to persevere and continue and broaden my skills so that I can contribute to science more than just academic research probably. Currently, I'm working as I'm associated with a journal called Bioprotocol as a science communication officer. We're also working to improve research reproducibility through their very well peer-reviewed articles. That's something that I also enjoy doing. So yes, I think all through this process, it has been always improving myself through my experiences, both in professional and personal spheres. And this interaction is also one such, which is very new to me and yet very enriching. So,
all right. What tips do you have for young people? You've been through a tough journey. You know, science is no joke. What tips do you have for young people?
So it also I have been posting on LinkedIn quite often these days, and I do get approached by young students, and that really shows that this question really lurks in their mind. And I feel that you have to believe in yourself and what you really want to do. A passion, and if you have that interest in science, you can face those difficulties, and you have to persevere. At some point, every field or profession has its challenges, and so you have to believe in yourself and keep going. And I think not comparing yourself to others is another important factor at this point, because that leads to a lot of despairing young students. And I feel also doing your own research and being prepared well for whatever you are trying to go ahead towards. Like you should do some amount of groundwork, that what you can expect, so that you are prepared to face what can come. And yeah, so and also being happy and taking care of yourself is also very important.
Any activities outside science? Apart from social service, you mentioned social service, good. Science, yes.
Yeah.
Anything else?
Yeah, as I mentioned, I am a jack of multiple trades. So I am into music. I also dance. I have played cricket during my college days within the college. So I've been into multiple things, and very recently I've also now qualified as a certified yoga trainer, because I am into fitness and I want to also help my profession, like researchers also, as I see their stress. I would like to help them in other ways as well. So yes, like these are the different other things that I find myself occupied.
So when you say music and dance, tell us a bit about it.
I've trained as a musician in my childhood days, but then it was more of self practice and just like humming the tune and like that. But dance is something I do like naturally. I have not trained, but I just love moving to the beats probably. So I'm trained to some extent as a musician, some amount of classical music, but dance is purely from the heart.
So who is your favorite accomplished musician? Let's see what your taste is.
Well, it kind of also evolves with time, I feel, but I think overall I like always I've liked Asha Bhosle as a musician. So
Okay.
I like her music. And Vice Kishore Kumar, their songs are like evergreen. So
Okay.
um,
It's amazing to hear a young person talk about Kishore Kumar.
no, they are. I think somehow like even if we are 90s generation, they are part of our childhood, or maybe my childhood. I kind of relate to them. And yes, I also listen to like young now the Arijit Singh and
Arjit
others.
Singh,
They are
yeah.
Shreya Ghoshal. They are
Yeah.
also the like, but
Okay.
the kind of the music you go back to our
Yeah.
Asha Bhose.
Kishore Kumar was untrained,
Yeah,
but
exactly.
he
Yeah, that
all
is true. Yeah,
he's
I correct myself.
yeah, he was untrained. Okay.
Yeah,
Asha Bhosle, of course, was trained by her father for some time. All right.
yeah.
Anything else you want to add here?
I'm really like I feel very fortunate that I came across this like platform, and I came to know about you, sir, and it is really great what this platform is doing. Like it's seldom that we get to such a place where you are just talking and you learn a lot through this. It doesn't need to be a workshop or something, a webinar, but these are the natural conversations through which you actually learn a lot, and your back of the mind questions get answered.
Okay.
So I'm really happy that that I can
Okay.
be a part of this.
Okay. I mean, this was the point of launching this, that look, we don't give in young Indians who are highly accomplished even a chance to speak. And I sort of rebelled. It's my rebellion against Indian society of my age. That what is this? You just don't let them speak. You don't listen. More than that, you don't listen to them.
Yeah.
That's really wrong, I thought. That we need to listen. Because then only they can be more productive if they know that somebody is listening. So this channel is just set up for that reason. I'm glad you have found it useful, and so have most people. Okay, let's end it here. I want to talk to you offline about a few things. So let's end it here. And to the viewers, I'll be back with another young person or an expert soon. And she's both young and an expert. All right. Thank you. Bye-bye.